Hey guys, it has been a long time since I posted a video, I know, but I just wanted to get back on here because I missed it. I missed talking to you guys about things that I truly enjoy. This is really a hobby for me, and stepping away from my hobby for as long as I have again is just not good for me. You know, I need to have my hobby again. So I am back. And I moved to Los Angeles. I got a job here. I moved back to Southern California where I grew up. I did actually, though, end up more on the coast. I was more inland growing up. I grew up in Pomona, and now I'm in the South Bay, and it is awesome. I am so happy to be here. At the same time, it has been very draining to move, find a place to live, get this job, go through the interview process, and then also, you know, perform really well at my job that I truly love. And, you know, all of that has really kept me preoccupied. And on top of that, just a lot of like things personally, emotionally, mentally, that I will kind of get into a little bit. We're going to talk about life, what it was like to move back here, the things that I learned from that, getting a new job, moving out here for a new job, career stuff, emotional stuff, mental stuff, all of that. That is what this video is going to be. I was going to combine it with some makeup related things, but then I thought about it and I realized that there's just so much to want to say. I mean, not that anybody necessarily wants to hear all of it, but I myself want to just get it out there and then move on. So this is what that is, and then there's going to be another video that is makeup related. If you want to know what's been going on, if you just want to catch up with me in the comments as well, this is the space for that. So let's rewind a little bit to January. The end of January is the last time I posted a video on YouTube, and that was when I was reached out to by the company that I'm at now, and we started talking about this job. So around that time is when I went into a mode of I really, really want this job. I got to make it happen, go through the whole interview process, and I really spent a lot of my energy on that. And in March is when I moved here. The thing I think that was the hardest is finding a place to live here. I have my two dogs, if you guys are familiar. I have Zoe and Winston, and they're both rescues. They are like my children. They are like Steven's children, and there was just no question that they were going to come out here as well. So when I started looking for places to live through that process, and keep in mind, I was still also looking for places to live while I was going through the interview process, at least remotely. I wanted to be ready because I felt really good about this. The problem was people would not be very kind and accepting of my dogs. And it's not just that I have dogs, but you know, having two dogs is already a lot. A lot of places said that I could only have one, and this is places that are rental houses, so landlords owning their own homes. Before that, though, I initially went into it wanting to buy property, so that was all a cluster because I went into it telling myself I want to buy a place to live, and then I kind of took a step back and I realized that timing, the timeline of me buying a place is going to take way too long. I need to just rent a place and then, you know, settle in and then start to find a place to live over time while I'm already here, versus being in Arizona, having to drive out here on the weekends to look at properties and then drive back to Arizona to go back to work on Monday. It was just too much because I was already doing that anyway, but then it would have really prolonged that process if I wanted to buy. So in the end, after looking at some properties, we decided to go with renting. So that's when it got really difficult, of course, with my dogs, especially Zoe. A lot of places would not accept two dogs, but also would not accept Zoe. It was tough. I felt really judged by a lot of people. You know, I also understand where they're coming from. It's also a very demanding housing market, so they probably figure, why go through having a tenant with 2 dogs when I could just as easily rent my place to a tenant that has no dogs, or a tenant that only has a little dog. So that was really hard. I also, of course, had to stay within my budget. So it was a combination of my dogs, budget, location, my commute. I felt like stripped down. Some people just like pretty much hung up the phone on me when they heard I had a larger dog. Now we are in a good place. We are in an apartment. Granted, it is smaller than I had hoped, but it's still a nice place to live. And the apartment complex, the apartment complex has a dog park on property, a dog bathing center on property, so it's definitely dog friendly, and we're very happy. But just the process of finding a place to live, I did look at about 20 properties, apartments, condos, and houses, until we finally found a place that would accept us, but also we would accept them because of the location, the price, and all of that. So it just had to be like a good match for us, and it took a while. Granted, I needed to be in relatively quickly, so I couldn't be too picky, but it was a process. My first week when I started my new job, I was not in a place yet. I didn't have a place, so I was going day to day, staying in a hotel. I would just book another night, because I was hoping that after each day I would be able to lock down a place to live, and it wasn't happening. So I would just book another day, in the hotel, because at that point I just wanted to get the heck out of a hotel. It was really draining, and I know that when I say all this stuff, it's like major first world problems. There are bigger things happening here. There's a homeless crisis here. You know, I know that there's more going on in this world than my problems. My problems aren't that big, but this is just me letting you guys know where I've been, and also where I've been mentally. So I went through all of that, and also it's just a lot. So you got to figure, you know, it's already a lot to move. It's already a lot to not just move, but also move to a different state, and then also start a new job. So even if you stayed in the same exact home that you're currently in and you started a new job, it's already a lot. But then when you tack on all the other things combined simultaneously with a new job, and you want to impress the people that are, you know, at this new place of work, because it's a completely new company for me. It's not like I transferred from a different location. It's a completely new place for me. So I wanted to put my best foot forward, and I wanted to have a brave face through all of this house hunting. So it was kind of hard. I went through ups and downs with that, but then also like personally, you know, like with my relationship and where we're at, and it was just a lot happened in the last 6 months while I've been away. So that is why I did not pick up my camera. I know that those are the moments though when it's just the best content, probably when you're vulnerable, when you're going through a big life change, you want to document it, share that experience with other people, and it would have probably allowed you guys to get more dimension out of me, you know, a little bit more of my personality, and also things other than makeup, career, life, that kind of thing. But I think, well, one, my personality doesn't feel that comfortable with being vulnerable, but also because of my job, I didn't want to necessarily have videos floating out there of me maybe being not so professional. Maybe I'm emotional and I'm crying or something. I didn't necessarily want that kind of stuff out there, you know? So it's kind of one of those things where I had to find a balance for myself that truly felt right to me, and that is why I did not pick up a camera. But what is going on now? I love it here. I love the South Bay. I'm familiar enough where we definitely would come out to Torrance when we would come out here for vacations and stuff. But living here, I love the South Bay. I love it so much. So I'm very happy that I'm here. In the end, it was all positive. I knew that there was light at the end of this tunnel. I knew it was just in the moment it was difficult, but it was all going to work out. So all of that, was fine. It's just, it was a lot in that moment because I also wanted to not be vulnerable. I didn't want to get emotional. I wanted to be professional and all of that. So I was going through different things at different times. But now I do love the South Bay. I love Hermosa Beach. I love Manhattan Beach. I love Redondo Beach, but I truly love Hermosa Beach. That is my jam. Steven loves it as well, and we just go there to relax, and we have like a favorite restaurant there and everything. So it's all been really good. In terms of my job too, this was a big step for me in my career. It was a great leap, a promotion in my career, moving up. So it's all very positive. I feel like I haven't cut my hair since I moved out here. January, I think it was last time I cut my hair, or February. So let me know if you guys have someone in this area or just in LA in general that cuts your hair really well, because I don't trust a lot of people. I do have my girl in Arizona. I'm actually thinking about maybe just having to go back to Arizona to cut my hair, but I just don't know what to do with that. Oh, so one of the things I did want to touch on real quick is I did start counseling, and it has been very helpful. This is the first time ever in my life that I've had counseling, therapy, that kind of thing, and it's been so nice to talk to someone about what I've been going through or what I'm going through in general without feeling like I'm a burden to anybody. It's like I have someone that I'm paying to talk to me about my problems, and that makes me feel better actually than necessarily always calling up a friend or something. As much as I love my friends, and friends are of course non-judgmental and they're there for me and all of that, there is something to be said about having a counselor. So I did start that. It's been really good. So that's been a big step for me. I also got these are all little random life updates that I'm just really doing for myself, really, because no one cares. But I got contacts. So I am currently wearing contacts. And this is another first for me. I've never had contacts in my life. I've never even used colored contacts. And I have been really liking it. The left eye sometimes feels a little weird, like the contact almost maybe wants to pop out sometimes. I know that's not what's really happening, but sometimes I have to close my eyes and let it adjust. I'm so happy that I finally got contacts. I finally just went ahead and did it. Really want to make sure that I'm taking care of my health and my vision and all of that, because I would wear glasses, but I didn't want to always wear glasses. So sometimes I would be out and I can't read if I'm at a restaurant where you go up and order something, I can't necessarily read the sign and until I put on my glasses. Really the biggest thing for me that made me so happy is when the girl at Target's optometry, when she said, "You can wear regular sunglasses again." And I was like, holy crap, I can wear my regular sunglasses again. I was so happy. I have so many sunglasses that have just been sitting around, and I figured I can never wear these again because I need prescription sunglasses. And the reason why I never got contacts is because the thought of having something in my eye throughout the day just really freaked me out. But I realized as I'm doing it that I'm actually pretty comfortable with putting my contacts in and taking them out, because I touch my eyes for makeup and stuff. So I realized it's actually not that bad. So I was kind of worried for no reason, and I now have contacts. So it's been great. So going back to moving here, Another reason why it's been tough for me, I think just overall, but then this also kind of ties into the filming aspect of it, is because we drastically downsized. So we could have gotten a 2-bedroom apartment, but we decided to save a little bit more money, and we figured it's fine, we'll just go down to a 1-bedroom. We've lived in a 1-bedroom before in Arizona, and I didn't think it was going to be that bad. It really isn't that bad, but going from a 3-bedroom to a 1-bedroom, like we came from a three bed 2-bath to a 1-bed 1-bath, and that hit me harder than I was expecting. Again, first world problems. I'm happy to have a nice apartment and all of that, but that did hit me a lot harder than I was expecting. I did not realize how much the lack of personal space was going to affect me. This can also, bleed into the filming aspect of it because I don't feel like I have my personal space to confidently turn on the camera and just talk to you guys without feeling like someone is listening, even if I have a door closed. Steven's actually out right now. He's so kind. He left to go run errands and stuff. But so that was really tough. Downsizing, of course, having to get rid of a lot of things, a lot of my furniture. I sold a lot of stuff off of Facebook Marketplace. And a lot of my furniture from like my beauty room in the last place is all gone. I sold it all and it was sad. It was of course nice to get cash, but it was sad. So now I have this bookshelf behind me that you may have seen on Instagram if you follow me on Instagram. Because I really don't have a lot of space for my beauty stuff, so I decided to just have a nice tall bookshelf to house everything. So that's what this is, and this is also in our bedroom. Kind of like when I first started YouTube, I was in the bedroom and I have my makeup in my bedroom and everything, so I've been there. But yeah, going from 3-bed 2-bath back down to 1-bed 1-bath was tough, but mainly because of the personal space, feeling like I could do my own thing and, not feel like we always have to be around each other. That sounds awful because I love Steven. But, just having personal space I think is important to do your own thing. And we kind of figured it out. It took a little bit, but it's now good. And then eventually we're going to find another place. With that said, we've only been here now for 5 months. It hasn't even been 5 months just yet. It's about to be 5 months since I started my job. And sometimes I have to take a step back and realize it's only been 5 months. Like I said this to myself when it was 3 months and when it was 4 months, when you're in a job day to day, every single day, and you put a lot of energy into it, it does feel a lot longer than the time that has actually passed. So when I was at a 1-month point, I felt like I'd been there a lot longer and so on and so forth. And I remember there were things that were happening just within like the first 2 weeks of the job, okay? First 2 weeks of a brand new job, I was so hard on myself about certain things that were happening, not necessarily bad things, just things that were happening. And I would beat myself up about it. And I remember there were emails about these certain situations, and then when I'm going back to like go through and clean up my email, I see that email and realize, holy cow, that only happened 2 weeks into the job. Like, why was I so hard on myself? So those are the kinds of things that I've been learning through coming here. At my last job, I was at the same TV station for almost 9 years, like just under 9 years. Plus, I was there for 2 semesters as an intern. So I was at the same place for a very long time, especially being 32 years old, being at a place for 9 years. It's a long time in my career to be in one place. So coming here, moving out here as an adult, I grew up in Southern California, but I had not lived here as an adult. So all of that is still very new to me. It's not like you just come back where you grew up and realize that like, oh, everything's just the same and I know what it's like. It's the same old, same old. It's like, no, it's a completely different part of Southern California. I'm in a completely new workplace, new people, new workflow, new work culture and environment that I have to kind of embed myself in and be really truly a part of, so that I'm not just like looking in. It's a lot. And I think through all of this, I've realized that I needed to cut myself more slack. I am my worst critic. And that's another reason why I think with YouTube it's been hard ever since I started YouTube. You know, I've always been so hard on myself. If I'm editing a video and something just doesn't look right, my hair is not great, like whatever, my makeup, something's off with my makeup, or whatever, or I said something incorrectly, or I stuttered, I was so hard on myself. And you know, through this move, if anything, I realize I am too hard on myself, and I need to cut myself some more slack and not take things so seriously. You know, still take things seriously and be professional, but not to the point where it's almost like detrimental to your health. You know what I mean? If you guys have experienced that, you may understand where I'm coming from, or maybe you're hard on yourself, but that's just who I am. And so this move has been tremendous for me, at least to be able to learn that and to be nicer to myself, and know when to take things seriously and know when to laugh something off, you know? I think those are the things I wanted to say. I'm sure I'll inject things here and there once we get going again. I want to start talking about makeup again, but I needed to at least just talk out loud about what's been going on, and it does feel nice. So thank you for allowing me to do that. I'm happy and thankful for this platform to be able to do that. I hope that you guys are doing well. I know there's a lot going on in this world. There's a lot going on in everyone's lives in 2019. A lot of dark times as well, but through it all, I hope you guys are okay. And I want this space to be a place where you can, you know, hit the brakes and sometimes just talk about makeup and talk about other things, but also talk about life and career and, you know, life lessons and all of that, because that's truly what I'm going through, what my interests are. And I don't want to like act like there aren't bad things happening in this world, because I know I'm in news, and so I know that bad things are happening, but at the same time, that is work for me, and I want this to be a separate thing, a place where we can talk about life and have conversations about, you know, girl talk and friendly chats about things. And you know, that's all. I'm rambling. So we're gonna end it there. I hope you guys feel like you've caught up with me, if that's what you were looking for, and we will chat again soon about makeup. Bye, guys.